Azure Latch just dropped the long-awaited Hiori update, and to be honest, I have mixed feelings about this update. Now in the update we got Hiori, obviously, but we also got new animations for Neo Izugi, alongside his T-Special, as well as we have a new overtime animation for Shido. But before I talk about how I feel about this update, let me go over all the new additions in this update, starting with Hiori. But before I do, please consider subscribing, or follow if you're watching on TikTok. I put absurd amounts of time into these videos, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, back to the video. Now to get Hiori, you have to complete a questline instead of spinning for him like most styles, and Hiori has 4 base moves with 2 of them having variants with his T-Special. His first move is called Glacial Cut. Using it, the player will do stepovers, and if they press A or D during the animation, they'll quickly dash to the chosen direction, then dash forward. The player is able to dash at any point during the stepover animation as well. If the player is holding A or D before using the move, however, the player will move side to side and then they'll dash forward. His second move is called Frost Guard, and it's basically Dawn's defensive stance. When used, the player will begin an animation where they leap with their legs sticking out, and if contact with the ball is made, they'll deflect it. His third move is called Link Up, and this is a 2-part move. For the first part, the player will do a small heel flick, and for the second part, the player has the option to either keep the ball, so don't press the move again, or perform a 1-2 pass near the closest teammate. This move has a T-Special variant where if you press T right before the first part of the move ends, aka the heel flick, you'll instead shoot the ball with this acting as Hiori's shot move in a sense. Hiori's fourth move is called Chilling Pass, and it is a high arc pass that goes to whichever teammate you choose. This move also has a T-Special variant where if you press T during the passing animation, you'll do a feint / counter, and if you land it, not only will you gain distance, but you'll also have your T-Special and pass cooldowns reset. You can perform this feint 2 times before putting your T-Special on cooldown. Now for Hiori's Awakening, he only has 1 animation and it requires you to have the ball and be near teammate. In his Awakening, he has 2 moves and a chemical reaction with Neo Izugi.
他で勝負するね。むき出しにするだけが英語じゃないで。
In Awakening, Chilling Pass gets an extended range, so if you're outside the normal passing range for the move, it'll activate a cutscene.
カーカーうるさいカラスやな。
His Awakening move, No Look Alley Cross, requires the ball to be in the air to use. This move is a pass, but in order to aim it, you have to move your mouse on the board that pops up during the animation. The ball will go wherever your mouse was last during the animation. The pass can go across the whole field, but you cannot score with it.
行こうか。カーカーうるさいカラスやな。ほな、行こうか。俺の全能力を、潔いち、全神経を。
Now that's it for Hiori, but that's far from what all this update has to offer. In this update, we also got a small refresh to Neo Izugi, as he got 2 new animations and a T-Special, that of which is very interesting, and I'm curious to see how people will utilize it.
この目と脳で俺はフィールドの未来へ行ける。俺のゴールを生むテリトリー。見える、感じる。この力で奪うんだ。俺のゴールを。何ができて何ができなかった。残された時間の中で俺の武器を進化させるには動き出してるのはこのボールは死んでも渡すか。絶対殺すって意味だ。いや、まだこの一瞬は終わってない。
When you use his T-Special, 3 areas of the field will have colored puzzle pieces floating above them. They'll be near your goal box, at the middle of the field, and at the enemy goal box. If you go near your goal box, you'll slowly see puzzle pieces appear on the floor, with a portion of them being green. Whilst you're in the area of the green puzzle pieces, both your tackle and run cooldowns will be lowered. This is to help Neo Izugi defend just like how he does in the manga. If you go towards the middle of the field near the circle, there'll be 2 puzzle pieces, both of them being blue. Walking on the blue puzzle pieces will give the player a speed boost while they're in it, and if they leave the puzzle piece, they'll have a speed boost that lasts around 2 seconds or so. Going to the enemy goal box will show 2 red puzzle pieces on both sides, and standing on them will give you a shot power increase. The last thing about his T-Special is that you're able to see where people are pointing at with their cameras. If you pay attention, you'll see little metavision eyes above people, and they indicate where a person's camera is facing. Whether or not this is actually useful, I don't know. And before I forget, here's Shido's new overtime awakening.
なんだその概念。爆発爆発爆発。俺の命が湧いてるぜ。最高。
Now that's essentially the entire update aside from commentators, emotes, and MVPs. Now I know the main question everyone is asking is why is Hiori locked behind a quest? And before you all get your pitchforks ready to hate on the devs, let me explain why this is. In case some of you didn't know, an old manager of Azure Latch named Caleb stole around $50,000 from Brandon by pocketing money for himself that was originally meant to go towards paying the devs and funding the game. Because of this, many devs were being paid nearly nothing, with some of them not being paid at all. And recently, Roblox removed premium payouts, which was a good chunk of the game's income. As well as because they have the official Blue Lock license, the game has to pay 20% in order to use copyrighted music. All of that in total means they are only gaining about 20% of their usual income. So to regain some of the money the team lost, they had to resort to making Hiori a quest-locked style, as the best way to gain money is by player playtime. No one, not even Brandon, wanted this, but they had to, or else no one would have gotten paid. Now the reason as to why they made him lock behind a quest is fine, I understand it, but locking him behind 2 quest lines is absolutely absurd. For those confused, in order to complete the Hiori quest line, you need Corona, Isugi, and NEL to finish his quest. Now Corona and Isugi are fine, but adding NEL is absurd even if it makes sense. NEL is a completely other quest character, and his quest line is incredibly tedious to do. You need Rin and Kaiser, which have the rarest rarity in the entire game. So if you want Hiori but don't have NEL, you need to finish NEL's horrible quest line followed up by another quest line. And if you don't have both Kaiser and Rin, not only will you need enough style coins to spend for the both of them, but you also need to get lucky enough to get 2 world-class styles with that money. So if Hiori is your favorite character but you're fairly new to the game, I feel bad for you. Now for people who don't have Hiori, most of them say the update sucks, which is fair to say. If a good portion of your player base can't play your update, then it is trash. But thankfully, I'm not in that portion. I find this update fairly good to be honest, excluding the fact that Hiori is a quest lock style, as that automatically makes the update bad. I find Hiori extremely fun to use at times. Glacial Cut is very fun to use, especially with how many variations there are. Frost Guard is definitely his worst move, as I feel like the hitbox on it is practically non-existent. I could use it with near perfect timing, but I still wouldn't block a shot. I think just having the hitbox linger a little bit more would fix this issue though. But I do think it would have been cool to have an awakening variant of this move, where if you block the shot near the go box, it'll activate a cutscene where it'll be the moment when Hiori blocked Rin's shot in the NEL. I think Link Up is just a boring move. It's just a small heal flick that afterwards allows you to do either a 1-2 pass or shoot. Most of the time it's better to use your shot variant as a pass, as 1-2 pass moves in this game are completely useless in my opinion. But it's a neat little move I guess. Chilling Pass is an odd move because of how high the pass goes. It's perfect for NEL since he can volley it, as well as it's perfect for anyone else with an air shot variant, but for everyone else it seems really bad, as it can easily be stopped by an IQ or Dawn because of how high the pass goes. I think if the ball just dropped quicker once it got to the chosen person, it'll be better. His awakening is my favorite thing about him though. I think the extended range on Chilling Pass is neat, but I think his actual ult move is really fucking cool. The fact you're able to manually choose where the ball goes anywhere on the map is a really fun idea, and I like how they executed it. NEL's new T special is also cool, but I don't know how useful it'll actually be. Having a lower tackle and run cooldown is nice, but if you miss your tackle once when an enemy is at box, it almost always leads to a goal if you have an AI, as most shot moves have iframes. It's only really good when you have a real GK, which come far and few in this game. The speed boost is nice, but I'm really able to tell the difference when I do and don't have it, as well as the position of the puzzle pieces for them aren't the best. And I have no real issues with his power shot increase, but I think they should have made it so there was 3 puzzle pieces near the enemy box, with one of them being in the middle, but in turn the puzzles themselves are much smaller. And his new animations are cool, I don't have much to say about them. Anyways, this update was actually pretty good, but the fact that content inside of it is locked behind yet another quest is very upsetting. If you made it this far, please again consider subscribing. Making this video was a pain due to IRL stuff, so I'd heavily appreciate it. Also, join my Discord. The link to it will be down below in the description of the video. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff in there soon, so make sure you join. Anyways, that's it for me. See ya.